Good evening and welcome to the news across the country. My name is Olushayo Nabatinde. The NBC wants broadcast stations on hate speech. Osun to restrict vehicular movement ahead governorship poll. FCDA to demolish unauthorized building in Kuje. First batch of Hajj pilgrims return to Nigeria. Now the news in full. The National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) has warned stations against airing sensitive materials injurious to national unity. This is contained in a statement today by its Director General Malam Balarabe Shehu Ilela. The Commission also reminded broadcasters of the need to be guided by the code and ethics of the discharge of their responsibilities. Malam Ilela warned that every station will be held liable for any content in violation of the Nigeria's broadcast code. With just few hours to the Osun governorship election, the Nigerian police has reassured the people of its readiness to collaborate with other security agencies towards achieving a violence-free election. Deputy Inspector General of Police, DIG Johnson Kokumo, who gave the reassurance at an interactive session between accredited election observer groups, non-governmental organizations, and the press, declared vote buying and selling as a criminal offense punishable by the law. OSBC reporter Oluche Amuda picks up the story from there.
Ahead of the 2022 Osun governorship election, Nigerian police and her sister agencies held an interactive session with accredited local and international election observers groups, non-governmental organizations, as well as members of the Fourth Estate of the realm. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, DIG Johnson Kokuma, explained that the motive behind the gathering was to review stakeholders' preparations and also appraise the preparedness of security agencies ahead of the election. The DIG, who was flanked by the representatives of sister agencies, stated that the police is resolutely committed towards maintaining law and order before, during, and after the election. The topic that dominated the discourse was the issue of vote buying and selling, which the observers noted had assumed a worrisome dimension capable of undermining the country's hard-earned democracy. They maintained that it is important for security agencies to stop paying lip service to the issue of vote buying and selling by ensuring that perpetrators are arrested and prosecuted in accordance with the electoral law.
Adequate security arrangements have been made for the 3 senatorial districts. Adequate deployment has been made for the 332 wards. Adequate deployment has equally been made for 3,763 polling units. In the course of our deployment, we have been able to deploy to the land. We have equally been able to deploy air deployment, where we have mission-specific air surveillance. We have a number of helicopters here for that purpose. We also discovered that the Osun State has littoral community, coastal community, somewhere at Asejire, that is the northern part of Osun State. Though it's a small dam, felt strongly that there is the need for us to equally police the waterways. And for that reason, we have equally made deployment of the police marine on the waterways.
DIG Kokumo, in his response, reassured the people that the agencies are battle ready to combat the ugly trend, just as he admonished parents and guardians to caution their children and words not to be used to disrupt the election. The DIG also spoke about priority voting and assured members of the public that the aged, pregnant women, nursing mothers, and people with disabilities would be accorded priority during the election.
INEC allows for it. It has become a legal procedure. It has become a law that some groups of people are allowed priority voting, pregnant women, nursing mothers, and the rest. We have adequate arrangements to protect the ladies, women generally, old, pregnant, nursing mothers who are participating in the electoral process.
He announced that there will be restrictions on movement from 12 midnight to 6 p.m. on election day, adding that only those on essential duties with proper means of identification are exempted. He appealed to members of the public to cooperate with security agencies to ensure a peaceful, transparent, credible, and conclusive election. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
Osun State Governor Mr. Adegbego Oyetola has implored the people not to entertain any fear about tomorrow's election. According to him, adequate security is guaranteed for all law-abiding citizens, adding that all security agencies have their operatives on ground to ensure that there is no security breach or breakdown of law and order. This is contained in a statement by the Secretary to the Osun State Government, Prince Wole Ujebamiji. As a result of this, Governor Oyetola has instructed vehicles coming into the state to ensure that they arrive latest by 10 p.m. tonight. He also noted that only vehicles passing through Osun to other states will be allowed free movement. Consequently, there will be no vehicular movement tomorrow between 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. except those on essential electoral duties. Osun State Broadcasting Corporation is mounting its guard to ensure maximum coverage of the electoral process in all the polling units that make up Osun State. At a special editorial and reportorial meetings today, stakeholders including directors, their deputies and other officers again explained the do's and don'ts of covering an election. Over now to Sahid Adiboje for details.
As of 8:30, editors, reporters and cameramen have been seated to be a part of the last editorial meeting preceding the much-awaited Saturday's governorship election. The meeting, which took an interactive form, gave all concerned the rare opportunity to share what they felt will give the state-owned broadcast outfit a leeway to having an age-free election coverage. From the directors, radio and television news and current affairs, Mrs. Abimbola Babatunde and Mr. Akinola Owolabi, editors and reporters should take cognizance of their bids and avoid announcement of electoral results. Mrs. Babatunde and Mr. Owolabi, who took turn to explain the roles of reporters, cameramen, and their editors in the election coverage, implored them to work as a team to achieve the desired goal. Engineer Temitayo Fagborun led an array of engineers to the editorial meeting. He explained that his team is ready with the mother-of-the-earth technology to transmit electoral processes in all the 3 senatorial districts that make up Osun State. The icing on the cake of the editorial meeting, come preparation for election, was the deployment of reporters to their beats. Saeed Adeboje, OSBC News.
Meanwhile, the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Osun State Branch, has encouraged Christians and all eligible voters in the state to go out en masse tomorrow and vote for their candidate of their choice peacefully and wisely. A release by the Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Osun State Branch, Right Reverend Amos Ogunride, Secretary Reverend Gabriel Ogunkunle, and Public Relations Officer Reverend John Adeleke advised eligible voters in the state to go to their various polling units and vote without violence. While enjoining the people of the state to vote in the interest of their state, the religious body prayed God to grant the state a peaceful atmosphere during and after the governorship election. Also, the field Commander of Amatekun Corps in the state, Commander Amitolu Shitu, has called on officers and men to comport themselves in a peaceful manner during tomorrow's gubernatorial poll in the state. In a release, Comrade Amitolu Shitu urged them to appear in mufti and exercise their voting right at the polling unit where they registered. He urged them to relay any looming crisis to accredited police officer or any security agent saddled with the election responsibilities. This is the news across the country coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Eliawuje Okebale Oshobu, Voice of the West. Now, our news message. Aim for your dreams. Do not lose yourself along the way. Sometimes the way to greatness takes greater and creating your own path. The chairman of the Nigerian Group of Fulani, NGF, Mr. Muhammad Abdurrahman, has advised all Fulanis to see education as priority for their children. Malam Abdurrahman gave the advice at the NGF 3rd Annual Congress held in Osogbo. Olaide Adegberu covered the event for OSBC News.
Members of Nigeria Group of Fulani NGF had gathered at the excellent event hall Osogbo, where they held a lecture with the theme Ethnic Bigotry, a Threat to National Security, and their 3rd Annual Congress. While addressing the gathering, the chairman and founder of Nigeria Group of Fulani NGF, Mr. Muhammadu Nuhu Abdurrahman, said Fulanis are not as bad as being portrayed, stressing that Fulanis are not violent but are loving. Mr. Abdurrahman man urged Fulanis to keep maintaining peace and unity among themselves and not engage in tribalism, noting that the group is planning to build schools for Fulani children so as to reduce their level of illiteracy.
I want us to let us join our hands together in this country to promote peace and unity for us. We don't want discrimination in our nation, rather, between maybe Yoruba or Hausa or Fulani. We want peace to be reigned. All those names that have been calling Fulani from Fulani from here, Fulani from there, not only Fulani are doing all those things.
Sheikh Ibrahim Ali, who was the guest lecturer at the program, explained that Fulani and other tribes have been relating together for years without any rancor. He stressed that Fulanis are tolerant, accommodating, not bigots, and they are not racist.
What we are telling the government that we are not violent people. We need their assistance. We need their help. We want them to join us together with this group because we have a lot of things to provide. We need scholarship that want to be given to our members. We want to be promoting education. If you render this type of assistance to we that we are here in the Southwest, this particular group is the only group for now, I think, that is representing the whole of the Southwest.
The event climaxed with donation of cash for the growth of the group. Olaide Adegbenro reporting.
There are strong indications that owing to the recent jailbreak at the Medium Correctional Center in Kuje, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has handed down a week-long ultimatum for the demolition of unauthorized buildings and shanty settlements in the town. Already, the Area Council Authority and its traditional ruler have given their consent for the exercise to take effect. The stakeholders meeting to brief the community on the intended activity was held today. It will be recalled that Kuje was in the news recently when gunmen believed to be members of the Islamic State of West African province ISWAP broke into the prison facility to free over 60 of their members in detention and paved the way for other criminals to also escape. A Plateau State High Court in Jos has adjourned the trial of a former governor of Plateau State, Senator Jonah David Jang, and a former cashier in the office of the Secretary to the State Government, Yusuf Pam, for judgment. Justice C.L. Dabob adjourned the trial after the adoption of final written addresses by both the prosecution and defense counsels. Jang and Pam are facing trial for alleged criminal breach of trust and misappropriation of Plateau State funds to the tune of 6.3 billion naira. Nigeria has recorded the first flight on the return leg as scheduled. Report has it that flyers departed with 423 pilgrims from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, at about 8:20 a.m. Saudi time. Another flyers flight is expected to leave for Nigeria later today with the second set of passengers to the Federal Capital Territory. It should be recalled that the inaugural flight from Nigeria to Saudi Arabia was conducted by Max Air. However, due to home advantage, flyers secured slots earlier than Max that is built to commence its homeward journey from tomorrow with pilgrims from Maiduguri, Borno State. A release by Assistant Director, Public Affairs, NACON, Fatima Sanda Usara, indicates that Azman will not begin its return journey until 20 years due to the delay it experienced during the outbound journey to Saudi Arabia for this year's pilgrimage. According to the head of Aviation Division, Engineer Goni Sada, pilgrims' departure from the Holy Land will be in line with their arrival into the kingdom. Alhaji Zikrullah Kunle Hassan, the Chairman National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, advised the state pilgrims welfare boats to ensure that their pilgrims' travel documents are ready. Their luggage check-in and clearance should be concluded in good time ahead of pilgrims' departure time to avoid flight delays. Similarly, the NACON helmsman advised the pilgrims to avoid stocking their luggage with contraband items that may necessitate their bags being opened for removal of such contraband items. Alhaji Zikrullah also advised Nigerian pilgrims to resist the temptation of overloading their luggage beyond the approved kilograms. He reminded them of the consequences of excess luggage, which is losing some of their items, especially those in the hand luggage. Meanwhile, Pilgrims are being advised to reach out to Kagozil and Chokodeke for transportation of their excess luggages to Nigeria. And now talking sports, the Federation of International Football Federation, FIFA, has congratulated the Super Falcons for picking one of the slots for the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Adeyomi Abodere is standing by for details of these and many more on Sports Update.
The Super Falcons yesterday defeated their Cameroonian counterpart 1-0 in the quarter-final match in the ongoing African Women's Cup of Nations in Casablanca, Morocco. The only goal of the match was scored by Rashidat Ajibade in the second half of the encounter. The Falcons will now meet Morocco in the semi-final stage on Monday. By this feat, the Nigerian girls have picked one of the tickets for the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Host Morocco became the first African country to qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup and will be making a debut. Other countries that will represent Africa at next year's FIFA Women's World Cup are South Africa and Zambia. Meanwhile, Super Falcons, a duo of Asisat Oshoala and Gift Monday alongside their coach Randy Wardrum, made the final shortlist of players and coaches for the CAF Awards. The African Soccer ruling body released list of players for the upcoming award, with 5 players from the Super Eagles making the list. Expectedly, FC Barcelona Femenino player Asisat Oshoala made the final 10-man list, while her compatriot Gift Monday was also listed for the Young Player and Interclub Player of the Year category. Randy Wardrum was listed among 10 coaches considered for the Coach of the Year award. The awards will be held on Thursday. In the meantime, Nigeria Taekwondo team have departed the shores of the country for Kigali, Rwanda, where they will take part in the 2022 African Taekwondo G4 Championship. The contingent is made up of 6 athletes and they have left the country. Addressing the athletes before their departure, President Nigeria Taekwondo Federation Abdullahi Baba charged the athletes to be good ambassador of the country. Ahead of the 2022 World Athletics Championship, 5 Nigerian athletes have landed in United States for the event, according to report. Grace Nwokocha, Samson Nathaniel, Adewale Sikiru, Patient Okon, and Joy Gabriel, alongside their coach Mania Esabuno, landed in Atlanta. They are expected to proceed to Oregon, venue of the event. The Presidential Committee on 10-Year Football Master Plan, inaugurated by the Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dari, 8 months ago, to lay the foundation for the development of Nigerian football, has concluded its assignment and submitted its report to the minister. The sport minister assured that the 2-volume report will be delivered to President Muhammadu Buhari, who will direct a white paper upon which the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development and the Nigerian Football Federation will drive the implementation in phases. Cristiano Ronaldo will not be joining Chelsea, with the Blues ending their interest in signing the Manchester United forward following the arrival of Raheem Sterling. Ronaldo is keen to leave Manchester United, given that Manchester United are not participating in next season's Champions League, and number 7 is not particularly impressed with the summer transfer business so far. Sport Update returns tomorrow. My name is Adeyemi Abodere.
And now to end the news across the country, here again are the major points. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has warned stations against airing sensitive materials injurious to the national unity. Osun State Governor Mr. Digbego Oyetola has instructed recruits coming into the state to ensure that they arrive latest by 10 p.m. tonight, saying that only vehicles passing through the state to other states will be allowed free movement tomorrow. There are strong indications that owing to the recent jailbreak at the Media Correctional Center in Kuje, the Federal Capital Territory Administration (FCTA) has handed down a week-long ultimatum for the demolition of unauthorized buildings and shanty settlements in the town. We also reported that Nigeria has recorded a first flight of the return leg as scheduled. The report says another flyer's flight is expected to leave for Nigeria later today with a second set of passengers of the FCT. That was the news across the country, as put together by Olushola Egbedofo and delivered by Olushayo Babatunde. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
It's entertaining. It's educating. Really informative. Qualitative news as it breaks. It's OSBC Radio 2, 104.5 FM. Numero uno south of the Sahara. Voice of the West.
If truly vote does not count, why then do politicians buy it? Vote for competence and integrity, not money. Say no to vote trading. This information is from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation.
aṣọ lásọ̀nà bàbá ẹ̀ lójọ ọ̀rẹ́ mi àwọn kú múrẹ̀ tó dìbò tó ń bọ̀ lọ́nà yìí.
kí a lọ ń sọ lẹ́nu ìbò wo. ikú mọ̀ sí ń tọ́ka mi pa abo èmi ti mọ́kà kó mi ìbò ọ̀rọ̀ bò àbí òsèbò ẹni ó bá wọn bá gbére bẹ́ẹ̀ kí á ń tèmi.
àwọn ẹ̀mọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ burúkú tó ń sọ lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ ní ojúṣe rẹ̀ ni láti jáde lọ́jọ́ ìdìbò kó o dìbò fẹ́ni tó wù ọ́.
wo ọ̀rẹ́ mi fi mí lẹ̀ ọjà ìwọ̀n tí ewu ń tiẹ̀ ọgbà gani àbọ̀ gbàkó tí mo ti sọ fún àwọn ọmọ mi ó bá ti dọjọ́ òwúrọ̀ láago mẹ́rin dájú má tẹ́ mọ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ kálukú wa ti gboko lọ àrèmọ̀ àdìyàn ń bọ̀ bá ti di ọ̀lẹ́ àmọ̀dàrí bọ̀ lé.
àgbẹ̀dọ̀ ojúṣe àti ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ ni gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tó ń wá ìlọsíwájú ìpínlẹ̀ yìí láti jáde lọ dìbò láti yan ẹni tó tẹ́ ọ lọ́rùn láti tukọ̀ ìpínlẹ̀ yìí rántí pé ìbò rẹ lágbára rẹ nítorí náà má jágunlá ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun tó ti ń dára kò ní bàjẹ́.